You know what's like a really fucked up thing? Masculinity. And we know this, but I'm thinking about how like valid gender fluidity is and how there isn't a lot of space made for someone to be gender fluid. Like we really have to like force space for us to be gender fluid. But then I think about people who lean more to like the masculine side of the fluidity, and how because of how masculinity is like shown to us and defined to us like by society and by the way like I guess like cis men culture, so many people that are like identify with masculinity in such a genuine way, like they feel it in their bones, are also defining it, or potentially can define it, by these same like toxic definitions of what masculinity is. And it creates this like really like interesting and fucked up place where someone is like queer, say like trans masculine, trans man, or even just like, you know, like a stud or masculine presenting woman, masculine presenting lesbian. Like people like that have to, they have to feed the part of them that genuinely identifies and presents differently than what they're assigned, but then they also have to combat what it means to to identify as masculine. They have to then like work through what masculinity fucking is. And it's fucked up because then that like some of that toxic masculinity finds its way into queer spaces, when I think a lot of like the motivation or like the freedom of queerness is to like try to remove like the presence of the patriarchy. But that is being repeated, or potentially can be repeated, by people that are trying to be masculine but are defining it in these toxic patriarchal ways. Like it's so fucked up, and it just makes masculinity like this fucked up thing that just fucking infects everyone that identifies with it. Like it makes the experience of like masculine presenting people very nuanced, in the sense that like, okay, masculinity maybe be able to gain you a place of privilege, but depending on how you define your masculinity, it could also create like a toxicity in you, but also you're trying to embrace your true self. So like you think that you're moving towards like more freedom and more truth, but like then you have to unpack masculinity.